Well, welcome back, everyone. You know, we are continuing our conversation with attorney Jerry Pitts of if, you know, law enforcement does confront you, what do you do? So welcome, Jerry.
It's good to be here. First of all, people need to understand the first thing they should do, I know this is a difficult situation, is shut up. That's a basic rule. Now, normally, most adults, they don't ride 4 and 5 deep, but this basically the young folks, they tend to have 3 or 4 people in the back seat. What they need to understand is if the officer should detain them, that the people in the back seat, first of all, should shut up. Don't have anything to say, and first of all, make sure that their hands are visible. And make sure that they keep their mouths shut. Because ultimately, what people don't understand is you can get charged for opening your mouth and talking too much. For example, you could be charged with obstruction of official business, interfering with an officer. You could end up getting yourself more in trouble in the back seat than the person who was in the front seat. The same thing should happen when you're in someone's house and the officer should come there. You don't know why the officer is there. Why are you going to be saying, what are you doing here? It's not your house. You, first of all, you should try to get the nearest seat, sit down, make sure your hands are visible, and comply. If the officer asks you what's your name, you don't tell them, well, you don't have to ask me my name. Why are you asking me? Because they're asking for, it might be just for safety reasons, but give the name. If you don't, then you can be charged for obstruction, failure to comply. You can be charged with something for your failure to abide by what you need to do. That's why people, first of all, when the officer comes in, it doesn't always mean that they're there for a problem. They may be there because someone might have called, or they're looking for someone. You need to understand the officer's first initial act is to try to work with you. You should not get them off on a bad step by you acting out in any kind of fashion. It's not necessary.
Right, right. I remember the last time you were here, you mentioned something about just you know, be respectful. Right?
Right.
Kind of just, like you said, just, you know, be quiet and just be respectful and just don't make any sudden moves because you don't know what they're there for, you know, so you don't want to just like, you know, kind of go crazy because
right. And
don't says you're in trouble?
Don't try to guess what they're there for or even ask. Wait, sit back, keep your mouth shut. That's the best lesson that anyone can tell you.
Yeah.
And naturally, you don't want to end up getting a felony for your failure, for your actions towards the officer.
Right. As a lawyer, do you see this happening quite often?
Yes.
Okay.
Often people forget the basic rule. Be quiet, be polite, wait until the officer lets you know what's his or her reason for stopping you.
Yeah, no, like you said, they're just trying to do their job and just a lot of times just getting the information that they're required to get, right?
Yes, and the folks in the back seat, you're not driving, just be quiet.
Right. You didn't do anything wrong, you're just in the back seat.
Just sit there and be quiet.
All right, so anything else, any other helpful hints you want to give?
Sure. What I'm going to also be talking about next, I'm hoping, is what is excessive force? Because a lot of people always want to say, that was excessive. Well, we're going to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think the best advice is always try to be as polite as you can. Don't imply to the officer what he stopped you for or she stopped you for. Let them explain it. It may be nothing at all but tinted windows.
All right. Well, Jerry, thank you for your good advice. I appreciate you coming on.
Well, thanks for having me.
All right. Well, don't go away because medical news is coming up next.